Welcome to this explainer. Okay, be honest. Have you ever felt that little pang of panic or maybe just feeling totally inadequate when you think about teaching your preschooler math? Because trust me, if you have, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're diving into some incredibly fascinating research from early childhood learning experts. And what they found is that laying a solid mathematical foundation is entirely doable, and surprisingly, it's actually really fun. We're going to completely transform the way you see your home, your daily routines, and honestly, your own role in your child's learning journey. So let's just address the elephant in the room right off the bat. Do you need to be some kind of math genius or have a fancy degree in education to effectively teach a preschooler? Spoiler alert, absolutely not. No way. Teaching early math isn't about stressful flashcards, making them sit perfectly still at a desk, or doing rote memorization. It's really all about capturing those playful, daily moments. The experts tell us that even before school starts, young children are already learning math, just by existing in their everyday environment. It's simply about tapping into their natural excitement when they recognize numbers out in the wild, or when they're just sitting there counting their toys. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, Unlocking the Number Core, focusing on those crucial foundational math skills. Way before kids ever set foot inside a classroom, they're already building what experts refer to as the number core. These are the abstract, foundational skills that a child absolutely has to master before they can become a fluent counter. Now, one of the most critical elements of this core is a concept called one-to-one correspondence. I know, that sounds like really heavy pedagogical jargon, but it's actually beautifully simple. One-to-one correspondence is literally just the ability to pair each object counted with a single number word. Kids start to develop this when they match one physical object with another. For example, simply placing exactly one cup next to exactly one napkin when setting the dinner table. As they grow, they combine this physical matching with their vocabulary, so they'll touch one object at a time and say a number word out loud for every single touch. Now, if you're sitting there wondering what is actually normal for your toddler, go ahead and take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. According to the research, developmental milestones for one-to-one correspondence happen in very distinct, manageable steps. For your early 2- and 3-year-olds, accurately counting just 1 to 3 things in time and space, that is right on track. Later in that same age bracket, they'll naturally extend that to counting 1 to 6 things. And by the time they hit 4 years old, they're generalizing the skill to totally new things, like counting pictures in a storybook, and extending that accurate counting all the way up to 15 things in a row. So if your 3-year-old can only accurately point to and count 4 wooden blocks, celebrate that. They are right on schedule. Of course, as they progress towards counting to 20, you are almost definitely going to run into a very universal and honestly kind of cute hurdle. Yep, the tricky teens. Most kids get totally stuck right around 13, 14, 15, and 16. They'll skip numbers entirely or just jumble up the order into complete nonsense. And you know what? This is completely normal. The experts at PBS Kids suggest practicing these specific teen numbers the most. A great trick is to create a physical number line so your child can actually visually see the teens lined up in their proper order. Moving right along to Section 2, Math in Everyday Life, or How to Turn Your Home into a Classroom. Early math is a highly physical, environmental experience. You definitely don't need a chalkboard to teach this stuff. Math is literally everywhere in your lively household if you just know where to look. So here is a rapid-fire list of routines you can start doing today. Play hopscotch to reinforce number recognition. If it's raining outside, no problem. Make an indoor board using an old shower curtain or flattened cardboard boxes. Take a walk around the block and point out the street numbers on houses. This shows them that numbers are also used for labeling, not just counting. Have them set the table, counting out loud. 1 fork, 2 forks, 3 forks. And hey, just as counting up is important, counting backward is too. Use the digital timer on your microwave counting down to 0 as a fun cue to pretend you're launching a spaceship. This brilliantly illustrates how everyday, ordinary objects transform into powerful math tools. Listen to me, you do not need expensive, fancy educational kits. Simple household items are absolute perfect manipulatives. The Family Guide strongly recommend using things you already have, like dried beans, different shaped pastas, pennies, or even Cheerios. You can use these to create repeating ABC patterns. Think a red crayon, a blue crayon, and a green crayon, and then just have your child copy that pattern. Or grab a handful of buttons to practice number matching. You draw a number card, and then have your child count out the exact same number of pennies to match it. It's really that simple. All right, Section 3, the problem-solving process and the incredible power of productive struggle. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that while hands-on play with physical objects is incredibly important, carefully designed digital tools can also be a massive asset for young learners, especially when they focus on spatial temporal reasoning. Programs like ST Math use a character named Gigi the Penguin to guide children through these visual puzzles. And when kids inevitably hit a wall with these puzzles, they aren't just given the answer. They're encouraged to use a specific problem-solving process. This isn't just about getting it right. It's about learning how to think and engaging in what educators call productive struggle. So when your child gets stuck on a game, you can walk them through this exact 5-step loop. Step 1, I see. Just ask them to simply describe what is on the screen. Step 2, I think. Ask what they think they need to do to solve it. Step 3, I try. Let them test their strategy. Step 4, I learn. They watch the animated feedback to see what actually happened, whether it worked or not. And step 5, I know. They apply what they just learned to their next attempt. Walking through this cycle over and over builds tremendous resilience.
Which brings us to our final core concept in Section 4, Ask, Don't Tell, using facilitating questions.
If we really want our children to build that resilience and master that problem-solving loop we just talked about, we have to fundamentally redefine our role as the adult in the room. I absolutely love this quote from the ST Math Family Guide. It says, "It is important not to tell your child the answer, but to ask questions that help them think." I really want to validate everyone watching this right now. Allowing your child to struggle a little bit, allowing that productive struggle to happen, is actually fantastic parenting. You do not have to swoop in and rescue them with the correct answer.
I know. It is our deepest, most natural reflex to just jump in and save the day, right? We want to point at the screen or the physical puzzle and say, oh, just put that piece right there. But shifting from giving the answer to asking facilitating questions is an incredibly empowering Socratic shift. Think about it. When we tell them the answer, we're doing the thinking for them. But when we ask the right questions, we're guiding them to actually wire their own brains for problem solving. So what do you actually say instead of giving the answer? Well, here is your exact script of facilitating questions straight from the experts. The next time they get stuck, take a breath and simply ask, hey, describe what you see on the screen, or what do you think you need to do to solve the puzzle? Ask them, what strategy are you going to try next? And after they try it, ask, okay, what did you learn from the feedback? If they are truly totally stuck, have them play a previous, easier level and ask, what did you learn from the previous level that can help you right here? These questions keep them motivated and they keep those little gears turning. And that brings us to our final thought for this explainer. You have the milestones, you have the everyday household tools, and you now have the exact questions to ask to foster that productive struggle. So I leave you with this. Where will you find the math hidden in your home today? Is it going to be setting the table with one-to-one correspondence? Maybe counting down the microwave timer for a rocket launch? Or sorting dry pasta into cool patterns? The opportunities are literally everywhere, just waiting for you and your child to discover them together. Thank you so much for joining us, and happy exploring.